You hear it all the time, right? We're in an affordable housing crisis. But what if a solution already exists, hidden in plain sight, inside the very homes we already have? Today, we're diving into PadSplit, a company that thinks it can solve this huge problem, one spare room at a time. Let's see how they're doing it. So let's just start with one single jaw-dropping number, 50%. According to Harvard, that's how many renters in the US are cost-burdened. That means half of all people who rent are spending over 30% of their income just to keep a roof over their heads. This isn't some small niche issue. It's a full-blown mainstream crisis. So before we can even get to a solution, we've got to unpack the problem. Just how big is the gap between what people are earning and what it actually costs to have a decent place to call home? Okay, think about this concept of a housing wage. The National Low-Income Housing Coalition calculates this number, and it's basically the hourly pay a full-time worker needs to afford a simple one-bedroom apartment. And the national average? $23.67 an hour. Now, just think about all the essential workers out there, in restaurants, in stores, in healthcare, who are making nowhere near that. And when you can't make that housing wage, the results aren't just numbers on a page. They are real, and they are devastating. I mean, just take Joe Floyd's story. For him, that gap between his paycheck and the rent meant sleeping in his car. His experience is just a powerful reminder of the human cost of this crisis and how badly people need a second chance. So when you have a problem this huge, where do the solutions even come from? Well, we're going to look at one really innovative answer from a company called PadSplit. They've built this new co-living model, and it's designed specifically for the very workforce that's being priced out of their own communities. So, what is PadSplit exactly? Well, at its heart, it's a marketplace. It connects workers who need an affordable place to live with property owners who have spare rooms. But here is the key difference. PadSplit is a public benefit corporation. That's a legal structure that means its social mission, providing affordable housing, is just as important as its goal of being a successful business. It's written into their DNA. The entire model is built on this really clever idea of a win-win-win. So renters win because they get housing they can actually afford with way fewer hoops to jump through. Property owners win because they get better, more stable income than they would from a traditional rental. And the cities, they win by getting much-needed housing, like right now, using existing homes, all without spending a dime of taxpayer money. All right, that win-win-win idea sounds great in theory, but what does it actually look like for someone who needs a place to live? Let's break down how the PadSplit model works in the real world. You see, a PadSplit membership isn't just renting a room. It's an all-inclusive package. One single weekly payment covers a furnished room, all your utilities, your Wi-Fi, laundry access, and they even throw in access to telemedicine. For somebody on a really tight budget, just getting rid of the stress of juggling 5 or 6 different, unpredictable bills every month, that is an absolute game changer. Let's just look at the hard numbers, using Atlanta as an example. To move into a typical one-bedroom apartment, you're looking at over $3,600 up front, just to get in the door. With PadSplit, $119. And the monthly savings? Just as crazy, about $729 all in, versus over $2,000 for a normal apartment once you add in all the utilities. This is what accessibility looks like. And the appeal goes way beyond just the cost. People can often move in within 48 hours. You don't need a high credit score. You don't need a perfect rental history. By taking down all these traditional barriers, PadSplit is basically opening doors that have been locked for millions of people. Okay, so we've seen the model, we've seen how it works, but what does this actually mean for the people using it? Let's take a look at the real-world impact on PadSplit members' lives. To really understand who this is helping, look at this number, $27,000. That's the median annual income for a PadSplit resident. We're not talking about students or interns. We're talking about the teachers, the factory workers, the service professionals that keep our communities running every single day. And you know, for someone earning that kind of income, having stable, affordable housing isn't just about having a place to sleep. It's what Juan says here. It's the foundation for financial sustainability. When you're not dumping most of your paycheck into rent, you can actually start to save money, pay down debt, and build a more secure future for yourself. And the data totally backs this up. Look at these ripple effects. More than half of the members say their job stability improved. Half of them are able to start paying off debt. And maybe the most telling number of all, 90% would recommend PadSplit to a friend. I mean, that is a powerful endorsement from the people who actually live it. It's also really important to see who this model is serving. 75% of PadSplit members are persons of color. That's a group that has historically faced the biggest barriers in the housing market. So this model is creating a direct path to more equitable housing access right now. And sometimes the impact is, well, it's even more profound. For Terry, PadSplit wasn't just about saving some money. It was literally the only thing standing between her and being homeless while she was stuck on a 2-year waiting list for senior housing. It's a critical safety net.
Okay, now let's zoom out. We've seen the individual impact, which is incredible. But when you add up all those individual wins, you get a staggering effect on society as a whole, especially for taxpayers.
All right, let's do some quick math here to see the full scale of this. Start with this number, over 25,000. That's how many affordable housing units PadSplit has created simply by converting spare rooms in existing houses. Now, we're going to multiply that by what it would have cost you and me, the public, to build those same exact units from scratch, which on average costs $250,000 per unit in government subsidies. A truly staggering amount of money. So you take those 25,500 units, you multiply them by that massive public expense to create them, and what does that equal? This, over 6.4 times billion dollars. That is the equivalent value in affordable housing infrastructure that PadSplit has added to the country. And here's the kicker. They did it all with zero public dollars. It's a market-based solution that's creating massive public value. And that really leaves us with a big question, doesn't it? PadSplit works by aligning the incentives of property owners, of renters, and of cities, so everybody wins. Could this be the key? Is finding ways to make doing good also good for business the most powerful way to solve our biggest challenges? It's definitely something to think about.